Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Courtmaster here, and today I have another Star Stable Online video for you guys. Today we are going to be discussing the new character update that released exactly a week ago today, actually. So if you've been following my channel, you might have seen that I already posted this video maybe I think it was 3 or 4 days after the update released, and I have since removed that video because after seeing a lot of the community speak out about the update, I feel like my opinions changed quite drastically, and I feel like some of my original opinions in that video were a little bit unfair. So I just wanted to come back and remake that and bring some of those new opinions back into it. So the number one thing that I think everyone has really been talking about, or at least was talking about a lot at first, is that the character release was an extremely unfinished project. Unfortunately, Star Stable released a blog post along the lines of just talking about the fact that if they felt like if they didn't release the update, that it would never end up getting released, and if they waited until the update was completely finished or the project was completely finished, that it would never have been released. But to be honest, it was pretty disappointing to see just how unfinished the product was when it released. There are a massive amount of glitches and a lot of things that just really need to be fixed and worked on before the finished product can really even be called a finished product, I guess you could say. But, you know, it is what it is, and Star Stable said that they're going to be working on this a ton over the next few weeks to get a lot of that kind of streamlined and fixed. So another big thing that I was seeing pre-release was there was a pretty mass amount of rejection from the Star Stable community as a whole before the release even happened. And from what I could tell, it seemed like it was a lot of people who've been playing for a really long time, that maybe were just not ready to give up the old character, the old character format, and that's totally fine. That's totally understandable. I do think there was a little bit of some drama. I think some people genuinely were just being a little dramatic about the release. Some people were even going so far as to say that they were never going to play Star Stable again because they just didn't agree with the update and they didn't like it, which is totally fair. You know, if you want to play the game, play the game. If you don't, it is what it is. But I think as far as game development, I think it was a very, very long overdue update, especially since Star Stable Online has been out and available for North America, and I'm not sure if it's available for all countries, but I know it first released in North America back in, I want to say 2011 or 2012. It might have even been 2010. Don't quote me on that. But that's about how long I've been playing. I've been playing since early 2012. And the old character was definitely something that just felt very original to the game. But at the same time, the game is now over 10 years old, or at least the availability, again, I don't know if it's worldwide or if it was just North America, but the availability since 2010 to 2012, whenever that released, the character has not changed since. And so I think, honest to God, we were very overdue for a character update. I do like our old characters. I mean, they weren't the best, but they were okay, I guess you could say. But the new ones are great, too. If I'm being totally honest, I absolutely love the new characters. I think they are very nice. And I'm going to move into my next point here, which I think is the biggest and obvious part of the release, is that Star Stable has finally introduced size inclusivity with the characters. There are now 6 new body types related to the characters that you can have, and all 6 are pretty drastically different. Everything from a pretty small character all the way up into, you know, a little bit of a larger character. And there, like I said, there are 6 different body types. And Star Stable also stated directly after this release that they are planning on releasing a lot more body types in the future. The biggest thing that I think they're facing right now is just that when you create more content for a game and you create more options like that and a lot more like uniqueness per player and per character, I guess from what this is just what I'm gathering from what they said, I guess it makes it more difficult for some like computers and hard drives to be able to run the game, especially since this game is also available on mobile, for tablets, for phones, for computers, laptops, you know, MacBooks, whatever you have, Star Stable is available on. And I guess from what they said, they just were running into issues with that, and they were a little bit worried that the game was going to become a little bit less accessible for people with maybe like slightly slower or not as strong like hard drives and stuff like that. So yeah, so hopefully we'll see those new sizes soon. I don't think there is a like official release date for when some new sizes are going to be coming. I know there was a pretty nasty glitch over the weekend related to the two biggest or the two last, so like the fifth and sixth option for the body sizes or body types, I guess you could say, where they were like glitched and they were made into different body types that I think aren't released yet. So basically, they just changed drastically. But I think that's been fixed. And Star Stable did come out and say that that was a glitch and it was not intended, and that those body types have since been fixed back to what they were originally supposed to be. Okay, so let's move on to the next point, and that is going to be that, along with it, there has been some speculation. I'm not entirely sure if Star Stable themselves has talked about this or not, but there's been a lot of speculation that with this new character release and in the future, there is going to be some more gender inclusivity, which is extremely exciting because obviously Star Stable Online, and I'm not entirely sure about the original Star Stable franchise or not, but Star Stable Online has always been a game that is like very specifically made for like young girls. There has never once been an option to play as a boy. There's not a boy character. There's not boy features. There's not really anything male related to the characters. So there's been some speculation that hopefully in the future we are going to either have a fully male character or some kind of inclusivity where you, or like options where you can make your character more masculine at least. When that's huge. That's a huge step in the right direction. I mean, like I said, this game is over 10 years old now. So I think it's just very, very, very long overdue that there be a little bit more gender inclusivity. And then the last point I have to make is a spoiler. This section is going to contain a spoiler, so I'm just going to give you a heads up right now. If you don't want to hear anything spoiler-wise, go ahead and click out of the video because this is the last point I'm going to be making. Like, comment, and subscribe if you don't mind. Helps the channel. But anyways, the last point is that there was a spoiler released recently over the weekend from CC Creations on YouTube that shows that Star Stable has hearing aids in the works for, I guess, a character. I'm not sure if that's going to be something the character can wear or if that's going to be something that's going to be added, like, included in with, like, a specific head design or something maybe. But that is extremely exciting because that's something that me personally, I play a pretty wide variety of games, both, like, online, like Star Stable, where you have, like, a character and then you all kind of look sort of the same, you know, stuff like that, and anything from that to, like, story-based games. You know, whatever it may be, I play a pretty wide variety of games, and I don't feel like there is a huge amount of inclusivity in the gaming world for disabilities. And I think especially for a game like Star Stable Online, that including different kinds of disabilities like hearing loss or potential full deafness is huge. That is, honest to God, not something I ever would have thought Star Stable would have included in their gameplay. Like, that's just, I mean, I'm talking from someone who's extremely privileged. I do not have hearing loss, and I do not currently have a disability of sorts. So it's not something I would even think about on a daily basis at all. So it's obviously not something that I would have thought Star Stable would have added. But I'm so incredibly excited to see Star Stable add these kinds of inclusive things into the game so that now we have even more people getting included. And I think just representation for the disabled community as a whole is super important. I don't think people realize just how many people in the world fall under the disabled category. And I just think that is absolutely exciting. And that makes me even more excited to see what comes in the future. I mean, we have more sizes, we have potentially more genders or gender kind of like identities maybe even. And then now disabilities too, which is so incredibly exciting. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you like the new characters? Do you hate the new characters? Do you think something should be changed? Are you excited about the potential for hearing aids to be added? Are you excited for the potential for maybe new gender identities to be added? Let me know in the comments below and let's talk about it. Thanks so much for watching today, guys. Bye.